minutes yet. And then I check the phone and it's only been 30 seconds, right? So a lot of times that happens. And so now we have to, so then I started realizing, okay, let me set a 5-minute timer on my phone. This way I know the phone will ring when 5 minutes are up. So I don't have this question in my mind, has it been 5 minutes yet? So I set the phone aside now, put it on moon mode, put it to the side with the 5-minute timer, and now you start. The way I started initially was I was focusing on a physical dot on the wall or something. So I sat in the corner of a room. I was renting this one room in my friend's place, and I had all my possessions were in that room. So I basically, to tune everything out, I said, I'm going to sit in this corner of the room and face the corner, like face where the walls meet. So I did that. And then initially I started maybe just focusing on a dot on the wall, focusing on a point on the wall, focusing on, then I closed my eyes and imagine like a flame, a candle flame. And so it was like kind of concentrating, like getting that focus down. But initially it was maybe I'd last 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It was so difficult. Like 5 minutes was really hard. So it took me about three months to get to 5 minutes. It was a long process, but I finally made it, right? Some days I would give up. I would say, okay, I'm 2 minutes, I'm done. I'm not going to come back to it. And some days I would even skip the whole day. That's okay. I made sure I came back to it at some point again to be consistent, right? So finally I was consistent. I got to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So this is how I built up my meditation process. Now, when I first started meditating, there were no significant differences. There was nothing like I was gaining from it, right? So you won't see that effect immediately. But after 6 months, after 1 year of meditating, I finally started seeing some differences. So initially what I first saw was when I was meditating, I would kind of pay attention to the thoughts that were going on in my mind, right? So eventually my meditation evolved. So first I was focused on those dots and flame and all these things. And then finally I said, okay, let me just sit there and observe myself, observe all the thoughts that are running in my mind. But the key here is not to get entangled with those thoughts. Meaning if you have a thought of anger, not to become yourself angry. Just watch that thought of anger go by and let it go by, and then watch the next thought go by and just sit there, right? Observe. So this was my meditation practice for a while. And during this phase, I started realizing what I was thinking about. I started realizing that, oh, this jealousy inside of me is created by me. I created that jealousy just by looking at some external situation. And that's one of the main reasons that my relationship broke up, the one that kind of led to all of the dark phase. So I started, this is how I was mastering my life, because the way your life works is essentially you're telling a bunch of stories. Like I'll give you a perfect analogy, and this is how we live our life every day. You're sitting in a movie. This is the analogy. You're sitting in a movie theater. You're watching a movie on the screen. The screen is a tool, right? We all know the screen is a tool. There's a projector in the back. There's another tool that's projecting something that's in the film. The film actually contains the essence of the movie. This film is then fit into a projector, and the projector shoots it out onto the screen. So this whole process happens in our life daily. How? We have a projector right here, our imagination, our third eye chakra. Again, for those of the energy systems, the chakra systems, the third eye, the Ajna chakra right here, that is responsible for your imagination. So it's creating the scene. It's creating all of these, like the projector. And what is the screen? The screen are the people in our lives. The screen are the places in our lives. The people meaning, we are creating the stories about my uncle. I am creating the story about my mom, about my brother, my sibling, right? It's all in my mind. So these stories are where we have to master them. It's all about these perspectives. So if we can create a story at every moment of our lives that's empowering us, instead of something that's putting us down, instead of something that's beating us down, right? That's how we can master life. But before that, we have to pay attention to the stories that we are creating. That's the thoughts that are running in our mind. So that's where meditation helped me master my life. Sit there, watch these thoughts, and then journal about it, write them down. Why are you having them? What's the purpose behind them? And then that's how I was realizing that, okay, these stories are not helping me. I need to improve on them. And these stories are helping me. Let's keep them. and then improve on the stories that are not helping me. So that's how I was able to, over the last 7 years, propel my life into this positive state.
Right, right. Now, Varun, you've heard that ideas rule the world. I also knew about that, and it has really worked for me. I know that you once had an idea that became a movement. Now that's really huge for me. Tell me, how did it all begin, and what are some of the important takeaways or life lessons that you'd like to share with my audience? Because I have people in my life, and I know that some of my audience have some major ideas up on their head, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't know the necessary steps to take. Now, going by your own personal life experience and how you've been able to gain momentum, having an idea and becoming a movement. I'd like to share your personal life story with my audience and how you've made it through to this very moment.
That's a great question. So earlier I mentioned, during the pandemic, we put some meals and some things together. So the way it started was this. So March 2020, this is in LA area, everything started shutting down. And in April 2020, I get a call. A friend calls me. He said, hey, we have the money, we have the funds. There's this organization that wants to donate large sums of money, and they have a facility. What can we do? We want to help people. And so him and we started thinking about different ideas, and we realized that a lot of people were losing their jobs. They're the only source of income, and they lost it. So now they don't have money to put food on their table. They don't have money to pay for electricity and things like that. So we said, what can we do? And we started putting a campaign of putting like groceries together, grocery supplies like rice and sugar and oil. And we gathered a group of volunteers. We needed about 40, 50 volunteers every weekend. We started out with one weekend in May, and we said, okay, let's get enough volunteers for that weekend, get all the supplies that we need, and get it started, put these bags together, and we'll go out into the community, announce it to the people that, hey, we're doing this, and come and pick up your supplies from this location. So we did it the first weekend. We prepared 400 bags. About 350 of them were gone. And then the other 50 we donated somewhere else locally. So eventually we got to a point, and then we realized, okay, we could do more of this. So then we did it the next weekend, and we did it the next weekend, and we did it the following weekend again. So we started continuously doing this, and eventually it became where over a period of 8 months, we donated 8,400 bags.
Right. Varun, I would like to ask you this. While in this process, did you have any support? Do you have any support? Because you said that, you kept donating, gradually as, things were coming in for you. Do you have any support regarding this? Or you were just doing it all by yourself with your partner?
No, we had a lot of support. I mean, this is not just one person job. It was the whole community getting together every time. It's like, this is what I realized through the whole process, that all of the resources are there. There is, the organization that wants to put in the money that was there. There was a piece there that was available in one area. And then there was the resources, the supplies that we wanted to give out, that was available somewhere else. The volunteers, there's another resources that we need. We needed at least 30, 40 volunteers. That was available. So we just had to, it took like 4 or 5 people to get together and connect all of these dots together so it can make into something meaningful. And that's essentially what an idea is. It's saying, hey, there are these pieces over here. All of them are not connected right now, but it's going to take the CEO, all the executive team to bring all of those pieces together and make that idea into a movement. So for us, it started off as a small idea. Let's just help a few people right now. But then we kept doing it, and more people showed up. And every time people started showing up. So over this period of 8 months, people just kept showing up, and we always had more to give. Then finally, we started, that was 8 months. But then about a month into this, we started giving out food. Like we thought about like, what more could we do? And we realized, okay, people want meals, like hot meals. Not everyone has a home, right? People are living out on the streets. So they won't be able to do anything with the supplies that we give them. They won't have a way to cook the rice. So why not create fresh meals and donate it directly to the homeless folks that are living on the streets? And so we started doing that. We started slowly, though. We said, okay, first we'll do 100 meals, 200 meals. We had individuals cooking in their own kitchen and coming and donating the food to us so that we could give it out to people. That's how we started. And then we said, okay, how can we scale this up? Because there were people always coming and picking up these meals. So then we found a commercial kitchen. So part of the facility that we were working out of and putting all these things together, there was a kitchen already available for us. So again, that was another piece that got added onto the pie. And we said, okay, let's use this now. So once we found the kitchen, we found the space. Now, this is a big size kitchen that could at least take 10, 15 volunteers working at the same time. So now we needed a team that could go in there and actually cook, because we have large vessels, we have large burners. So we needed a team that could do all of this. So we found a team then. The team also came to us and they said, okay, we will come and we will start doing this. So then they brought their own volunteers. They had 10, 15 volunteers come. And they started setting up the whole kitchen and doing the whole kitchen work. And then we said, okay, well, let's team up, partner up with different organizations that they are already going out onto the streets. We will be the kitchen. Let us just cook the meals and give it to these organizations that go out into the street and distribute it to the people. So eventually we started creating 1,500 meals every Sunday. So now we've all continued it from 2020, 2021, 2022, we're going to do it all the way till the end of 2022. And every Sunday, our goal is to distribute 1,500 to 2,000 meals in this LA local community. Right now, we partnered up with about 15 to 20 different organizations that come and pick up these meals from us on a regular basis. And last Thanksgiving, we did a drive where, in Thanksgiving, there's a lot of turkeys being killed. So we wanted to balance the ecosystem. So we said, let's put out vegan meals that use no dairy whatsoever. And so we created 7,000 vegan meals and distributed out into this local LA community. It went from Santa Monica, which is, in one corner of LA County, all the way to Riverside, which is in a different 100 miles east of Santa Monica, all the way down to San Diego, which is 150 miles south. So we covered a vast area and we spread out our meals in all of these different areas.
So. Right. Great movement you have here. Now, Varun, do you have any information that you'd like to share with my audience?
Yeah. So, a couple of things is I mentioned earlier about the products. There's some, physical cleanses, mental cleanses, and emotional cleanses. The physical cleanses is something called a miracle food. And essentially this is a combination of 5 different superfoods. 4 of them are oils and 1 is a powder. And we combine this and make this thing called a miracle food. And this, along with our miracle tea, you combine these two and essentially it's a powerful cleanser. What this does is so it's a 15-day cleanse. Every morning you wake up, you start the miracle food morning ritual. The ritual is you take a 30 ml shot of the miracle food, drink 8 ounces of the miracle tea, and then you wash that down with some water and eat a fruit after that. And eat like apple, banana, something to get you started. And this process, do it over 15 days. And what it does is it starts cleaning out things from our system. Now, we don't realize this. In our system, there are about, in some cases, 30 to 40 pounds of stuff, junk, sitting in our body, in our colon, that's not been cleansed. So this miracle food will allow you to cleanse all of that stuff out of your system. Depending on how bad it is, you may have to do multiple cleanses and go for a month or a month and a half or 2 months. But what this does is eventually it'll really clean everything out from your system, remove the toxins, because between that 20, 30 pounds of stuff, there's a lot of toxins sitting. So you're removing all of those toxins. You're going into the cells and removing toxins that are inside the cells, inflammation that's in your body. So that's the physical cleanse. And then along with that, we have a mental cleanse. So we have these affirmation posters that you could put up in your office. You could put up in your room, in your workroom, in your bedroom. And what they do is they eventually manifest for you. Like, for example, right now, I am looking at a couple of frames in front of me, a couple of frames behind me. So when I'm on the camera, you can see these frames that says, yes, you can. And on the